Hey, it's Monica here with City Source, Nashua in Focus, bringing you all of the amazing programs that Nashua has to offer. Today's an episode that you don't want to miss about immigrants and all of the amazing programs that Nashua has to offer to help them. So watch this.
Hello and welcome to City Source Nashua in Focus, a TV magazine program. My name is Ailda Munes and I'm here with
Eva Molina. Welcome everyone to this program to the city of Nashua.
Eva, can you tell us a little bit about today's program?
Yeah, today we're going to talk with Bobbie Bagley and Fakia Gomes. They're going to share with us about the information of the initiative in the city of Nashua for the immigrant refugees in general. And we're going to see the interview with Jose Luna in the library with Caroline Heinen and Jan
Haskins.
Yeah, so with who we're going to start?
We're going to start with Bobbie Bagley. So we're going to go into our TV studios and have that little interview with Bobbie Bagley.
Stay there. Welcome to City Source Nashua in Focus. My name is Eva Molina and I'm here with Ailda Munes.
Hello.
Today we're going to talk with Bobbie Bagley about the Gage City Health and Wellness Immigration Initiative in Nashua, New Hampshire. Bobbie is going to explain us what is going about this, right, Ailda?
Yes. Bobbie, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Bobbie. So tell us about this program.
Well, the Gate City Health and Wellness Immigrant Integration Initiative, which we'll call the initiative because the name is so long, is actually designed to help make sure immigrants and refugees that are new into the city of Nashua have access to services and that there's linkages that are provided through social service agencies, making sure that there's integration that's smooth and that folks don't feel like they're not a part of the community. The purpose of the initiative actually began after, in 2007, we had a number of refugees resettle into the area, and we found that we didn't have certain services in place that would provide the language access, that had the cultural competency in place for these individuals. And so the purpose of this initiative is to bring social service agencies together, along with our healthcare providers, along with people from the community, to help reduce social and cultural barriers for immigrants and refugees when they come into the city.
How is this initiative funded?
Well, the initiative is funded by the Endowment for Health. We initially received funding for about 2.5 years. The first year was supposed to be for planning, and then the second year was supposed to be for implementation of the integration plan that was developed. We also received funding from Grace Fellowship Church to provide direct services to some of the refugees that had come in 2007, as well as funding from the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation. That funding does end September 30th, and we have been looking for other funding sources, in the meanwhile, because it's really important for us to sustain the efforts of the initiative and assure that the systems that we put in place are actually here as we go forward.
So I think that is great having a volunteer to flow all of this connection to get the good services in Nashua City.
Yeah, the important piece of the funding is that it supported the program coordinator's position, a full-time position that helped assure that the linkages were there, that folks weren't going to fall through the cracks, that the service providers were getting the information that they needed about the refugees that were coming in, and that the volunteer coordinator had support as well. The program coordinator works directly with the volunteer coordinator, who in turn works with the volunteers that come from the community, our faith-based community was really on board with helping with new refugees when they came in. And so in order not to duplicate these services, you want to have coordination. And so having the program coordinator and the volunteer coordinator working together really allows for us to do that in a very effective and an efficient manner. They're key to this project.
How long is this taking place in Nashua City?
Well, the Gate City Initiative was started in 2008. The funding came through.
Okay.
As I mentioned, we had some new refugees resettle in 2007, and that gave us an opportunity to see what our need was and to identify some of the issues that needed to be addressed. So the process began in 2008 when the funding came through the endowment to take a look at what plans we needed to put in place to make sure that this system would work.
Yeah.
And we identified certain areas that we needed to focus on with regards to making sure that there was healthcare access, language access, making sure that there was linkages through the school, through our public health department, with the Nashua Area Health Center, which becomes the medical home for the families, and then also making sure that these processes were going to work smoothly. So it's been about 2.5 years now.
Wow, that's a long time.
It is. Now, who are your partners? Who do you work with in the Nashua community?
Well, there are a number of stakeholders involved in the process. As I mentioned, our health department, the Division of Public Health and Community Services, which has a number of departments, provides services for newcomers as they come in. So our welfare department, our community health department, and environmental health department play a huge role with regards to this process. Some of the other partners include the Nashua Area Health Center, where we make sure that folks have a medical home. We work very closely with the school system. That's another first point of contact for refugees and new immigrants as they come in as well. The Adult Learning Center plays a significant role because when refugees come in, they have to enroll in an English as a second language class.
Yes.
For proficiency in English. And so we have members from the Adult Learning Center who participate as well. Our police department has played a significant role in this process. I mentioned the school department. We've had both area hospitals participate on our steering committee as stakeholders. We've also had partners that actually have contracts through this particular funding source through the endowment.
Yes.
The Southern New Hampshire Area Education Center, which we call Southern New Hampshire AHEC, is where our program coordinator comes from. And then we also have the Southern New Hampshire Services, which provides the volunteer coordinator position as a partner. One of the other partners that has been significant for this process has been the New Hampshire Minority Health Coalition, because we've had the opportunity to provide cultural competency training for the providers and the stakeholders, as well as community members that participate in some of the meetings. And the coalition has been significantly helpful as a resource in providing the cultural competency trainings for us during the first year of our planning efforts.
Now, my understanding is this initiative will end September 30th?
That is correct. The funding for the endowment does end on September 30th. We had gotten funding from the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation as well.
Yes.
And then one of the local churches, the I'm losing the name.
Grace Fellowship Church?
Grace Fellowship Church, yes, also provided some funding to support the refugees when they came in. And all the funding, the project itself ends September 30th. We have been looking for some other funding sources to support the initiative. Because one of the main things with this is, with the funding, it has allowed us to put certain processes in place.
Yeah.
The efforts of the initiative have to continue, so we have to make sure that we can sustain what we're doing here. There was a lot of great work that came out of the initiative.
Yeah.
There were subcommittee groups that were formed. We've come up with some best practices that we can use for this process. Have come up with some nice policy change, things around language access. And in fact, the language access subcommittee worked with the Nashua Police Department and put in a process where the police officers actually have access to language line through 911 if they happen to work with residents that live in the city of Nashua that don't speak English. They can call in, and that service is available. And that came through the work and the efforts of that subcommittee, actually spearheaded by Sergeant Peter Siegel and other members of that committee. this year. So that was
That's
good.
wonderful.
If somebody want to help you to support this initiative, where they can contact you, or if you have some website?
If people want to send money to support the initiative, they can contact us through gonashua.com, or they can contact us by phone at 589-4500. They can ask to speak with Fakia Gomes or with myself, Bobbie Bagley. And that way they can access us. And and I would encourage folks, if they really feel that this is an important issue for the city of Nashua, and for us to be able to sustain the efforts and the activities that we've been doing with our immigrant and refugee population, that they should contact us and let us know in whatever way they can help, that they can help us.
Yeah, which leads to the next question is, what will be the impact without this initiative to the city of Nashua and its residents?
Well, the role that the program coordinator has played has been significant. Again, the purpose of this project was to reduce social and cultural barriers to health, as well as helping people maintain linkages for social services in the city of Nashua, so that when folks come, they don't feel lost. It's really hard to navigate some of our social service systems, the healthcare system, when you're new to this particular environment, or even to the country. So the program coordinator's role is really significant in coordinating the efforts between the social service agencies, between the agency that actually resettles new refugees into our community, with the families, with the volunteers, and with the community liaisons, who are the ones that are working directly with the families. And so the program coordinator plays a really significant role. The volunteers are also important because of their desire to want to be helpful and to want to help families feel like they're a part of the community. Yes. But all of that needs to be coordinated. And so to have a volunteer coordinator working with the program coordinator helps make sure that the efforts that we want to put in place and that we have put in place in the system are maintained.
What is the difference that the Nashua city has been facing before this initiative and after?
One of the things that we noticed in 2007, when the first set of refugees from Somalia came in, was that we didn't have certain things in place to be able to address their needs efficiently. Yeah. We would get a call at the health department about individuals that had come in, and maybe they were at the hospital. And the hospital may have called and said, well, did you know that this family was here? And these are the issues that surround this particular family right now. And so what we do is scrounge around and try and find individuals that could help us in addressing the family's need. And that wasn't very efficient, and it wasn't very effective. By putting the Gate City Initiative in place and the systems in place, when it's coordinated, you have one individual who's the contact for the social service agencies, who can then navigate, make sure that the right people are contacted, and make sure that the family's needs are addressed in an efficient way, in an expedient way that doesn't take up a lot of time, where you have folks that have needs that need to be addressed immediately.
Yeah. And those needs, the state provides services to residents who come in who are refugees for a short period of time. Is that 30 days or 60 days that they receive services from the state?
Well, through the volunteer resettlement agencies, they will usually work with refugees for up to 4 months.
Oh, okay.
And then there's also support that can come from the Office of Energy and Planning in addition to that. The volunteer agencies can work anywhere from 4 months to 8 months, depending on what the family's needs are. But that availability is limited. Yeah. When you develop a system such as the initiative in a community, it needs to be sustained, because those members are going to be a part of your community for longer than 8 months. Yes. This is their home. Yeah. And so you want to have systems in place that help them feel welcome, that help them feel like this is their community and that they belong here. And that you also want to make sure that community members that are here also feel that newcomers to the city belong and are a part of their community as well. Mm-hmm. And so part of the Gate City Initiatives helps foster that. It helps foster that sense of community for individuals that are here, as well as newcomers when they come in as well. And again, the significance of the program coordinator and the volunteers is to help create that sense of
That's
belonging.
great. It's more easily the job.
Yes.
So that I may understand, the church always is working to service the community, etc. I guess they are not really organized, but are you working together with them?
Well, you know what? The significance of the church has been really great because that's where a large pool of the volunteers come from. And in the community of Nashua, our churches are very supportive of newcomers and supportive of initiatives in the city. And so with the numbers of volunteers and the different churches, you could understand why you would need some coordination with the volunteers so that there's not duplication of efforts.
Yeah.
And so we're very, very happy about the fact that we have such willing and eager volunteers from our faith-based organizations, and we just want to make sure that those efforts are coordinated.
That's great. That's awesome. And we really need it in the city, you know. So I think that it's going to be very benefit for the city, all these services.
Yeah, if we could sustain what's happening with the Gate City Initiative, it would benefit the city of Nashua a lot. It would benefit the newcomers. It would benefit the communities that are existing. You just have a wealth of diversity, a wealth of knowledge. You know, your city grows, and when your members in your city feel like they're welcome, they can maintain a good sense of health.
Yeah, especially to know the system, you know, because sorry, they come from different cultures, you know, and lifestyles.
Yes, and it takes a while to navigate any system.
It does.
And when you have problems not knowing the language, not knowing the culture, everything is just new to you. It takes more than 4 to 6 months to really navigate.
It does. Yeah.
So it's great that this program is available and that you're helping residents who really need these services. And I just can't imagine what people will do without this program.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm glad that we have these services in the Nashua city. I would like that you can introduce yourself and, you know, invite the people to support this initiative.
As I said before, I'm Bobbie Bagley. I'm the Chief Public Health Nurse at the City of Nashua and work on the Gate City Health and Wellness Immigrant Integration Initiative with Fakia, who's the program coordinator. And again, if people have and look forward to the opportunity of supporting this initiative in order to maintain its sustainability, they can contact us through gonashua.com or by calling us directly at 589-4500 and either asking for myself, Bobbie Bagley, or for Fakia, who's the program coordinator.
No, that's great. Thank you, Bobbie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bobbie.
for having me.
Thank you.
So all of you, if you want to help us, you know, and support these services in Nashua City, you know already how you can contact gonashua.com or their direct phone number, and you can maybe call us too if you need it. We're gonna talk with Fakia Gomes, and she's the coordinator of this initiative, and she's gonna explain us how she works, right?
Yes.
So
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And welcome back. There was a great interview with Bobbie Bagley with a lot of information with the immigrants and refugees in the city of Nashua. And later we're going to talk with Fakia Gomes, but now what we're going to have then?
Well, Eva, did you know that 28th of September is World Rabies Day?
No, I didn't know that. And you?
Yes.
No,
well,
I
it's
don't.
really important that we get our pets vaccinated. So we're going to view a public service announcement about that topic.
Hi, my name is Corinne Domkowski, and I'm here with Heidi Peak, our health officer for the city of Nashua. And Heidi, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Corinne.
I'm here with Heidi today to talk about some important public health information surrounding World Rabies Day. World Rabies Day is on Tuesday, September 28th, and it's to bring awareness around getting your pets vaccinated and really about how serious rabies is. So Heidi, I'm going to first begin to ask you to explain what rabies is and how serious it is.
Rabies is a viral disease that causes a swelling of the brain and the central nervous system. It's very serious because it is almost always fatal.
Wow. So tell me, if someone has a pet that is attacked by a wild animal and that pet isn't vaccinated, what happens?
We make those determinations what happens to the pet on a case-by-case basis. Worst case scenario, the animal has to be euthanized, which means it has to be put to sleep. Otherwise, it could be placed into very strict isolation for a period of 6 months, up to 6 months. And then the animal is then vaccinated for rabies.
Wow, that's sad. I did not know that. So then what happens if a pet who, again, is still not vaccinated attacks a person, either bites them or scratches them? What happens then?
The animal is seized and impounded by the city's animal control officer. It's impounded typically at the shelter, and after the 10-day period, the animal is then examined by a veterinarian for the signs of rabies. If there are signs of rabies, the animal is then put to sleep. If not, the animal goes home, but it's first vaccinated again for rabies.
So we live in New Hampshire, and we're surrounded by wildlife. So what happens if people encounter wildlife? What should they do?
Enjoy wildlife from a distance. Don't touch them, and don't have your family members or your pets come into contact with them either.
Well, Heidi, this is really great information. But with all that said, what can people do now? Like, where can they go to get their pets vaccinated if they haven't done so already?
They should contact their local veterinarian. And if they don't have a veterinarian, they should just look in the yellow pages for a list of them and ask around to see who's running rabies clinics, and pet stores are another good resource as well.
Great. Well, thank you, Heidi, for being here and telling us all this great information. And if you want more information, please contact us, the Division of Public Health and Community Services, at 589-4560. Thanks.
So welcome back.
Welcome, but that was a great information about the vaccine for the pets, right?
Yes, it was.
So it's very important for all of you to get your
Vaccinate your pets.
Yeah.
Yes,
Let's take into account that information.
Yes.
But now let's see what we have in the library with Jose Luna.
Luna Report is coming up.
Please interview him.
Oh, who is being interviewed is Carolyn Iman.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Oh.
So we're going to go right to Carolyn Iman's interview with Jose Luna.
And once again, we are here with Carol Iman, who is the Outreach and Community Service Coordinator for Nashua Public Library. Welcome, Carol. Tell us, what do you do in that position? What is exactly the main focus of what you do?
Well, there's actually 3 or 4 different things I do. I do marketing for the library. I plan adult programs. I oversee the outreach program, which is where we deliver books to people who can't get to the library. And I also work with groups in the community to get them to know about the library.
What kind of specific programs do you prepare or design in order to connect with the community?
Well, we have several types of programs. We have a lot of concerts, especially in the summer. So I plan those. We'll have lectures, whether it's about gardening or history, or all different kinds of topics. Sometimes we'll have maybe a craft class, different things like that.
Now, if someone wants to use the building or one area of the building, a room for a specific research or situation or a concert or a seminar, they need to come and talk with you, I understand.
Right. We have 4 different meeting rooms, and they're available for nonprofit groups to use at no charge. So if you like have a sports league and maybe you have a board meeting you need to hold, you can have it here instead of in your living room. Just call me. Or if you maybe want to do a presentation to the community or have a guest speaker come in for your nonprofit group, we can handle that too.
And I can testify of that because every time I have called Carol to set up a room for use here at the library, the doors have always been open, and we are very thankful for that. Thank you, Carol, for that.
Good.
Now, is there a fee for people, for nonprofit to
no,
use that?
we don't charge a fee.
There is no charge. Did you hear that? That's great. It's great to know that.
Yeah.
But she's the person that you need to talk to in order to, have access to these services that the library offers.
I should also tell you, you can do it online. You can go on our website, nashualibrary.org, and you can request a meeting room online now too.
Excellent,
So,
excellent. Now, tell us, in your connection with the community, what are the main challenges you're facing?
Well, my main challenge or goal is just to get the word out to people that what's offered at the library. So I'll go out to groups, I'll go out to like large employers like the hospitals or a private company and issue library cards to people on the spot. Or I'll go out to maybe speak to a senior group, like a group of retired educators, tell them what's going on at the library or maybe a Rotary Club, that kind of thing.
What is your main goal as the Community Outreach Service Coordinator?
Well, it's a goal that's shared by everybody here, I think, which is to let the community know that their library is here and what it offers, and it really belongs to them, and that they should come in and they should go to our website and use it.
When I'm hearing you saying a goal that is shared by everybody here, are you telling us that you here as a group, as a team at the library, you have a shared vision of what you are envisioning for the library in the community?
Right. Sometimes you get wrapped up in what you do in your department, but really it's good to step back and say, what's the overall goal? And that makes it a lot easier to work together.
What is your main challenge as a community, personal main challenge?
It's kind of to keep up with all the different ways of communicating with the community now. It used to be you could just send out a newsletter and get the word out, but now you've got, print newsletter and online newsletter. You got to get to the people on Facebook. Some of them are on Twitter. Some people you just need to go out where they are and talk to them. So it's kind of coordinating all those different ways of getting the word out.
That's a challenge, huh?
Yeah.
And also Nashua has become quite diverse. So diversity is growing, and there's a whole population out there that English is not necessarily a main language, and you also want to offer those services and connect with those people so that they might have access to the benefits that the library offers. And I understand you have these pamphlets that you print in Spanish, and eventually I hope they will come in French or well, we don't know yet,
we don't know about that, but there's so many different languages we could translate them into. But I think the Spanish-speaking community is the largest non-English speaking community in Nashua, so that's why we focused on that.
Now, what would you tell the viewers about what you offer and the benefits that they will find in coming here at the library and your desire to connect with them? What would you tell them?
Well, I think one thing I would say is that you definitely should come into the library. It's not the library you might remember from when you were a child. There's a lot more going on at the library. There's not just books, there's DVDs, there's CDs, there's computers. And I think something that strikes me with the library now is that it's up to date, it's current, it's state of the art, where maybe when we were younger, libraries were a little more behind the times. So I think people should come in and go to our website and just see what we have to offer.
Thank you, Carol. Carol. Ayman, for being with us here at our program, and thank you for sharing your views and your inputs about how to connect with the community. Thank you to you for listening to our program here about the Nashua Public Library. This is your host, Jose Luna.
Okay, welcome back. There was a great interview with Caroline Ayman, right?
Yes.
And now Jose is continuing with Janet
Haskins at the National Public Library.
That's great.
Welcome again. We are here at Nashua Public Library, and now we are talking to Jen Hoskin, who is the young adult librarian here at Nashua Public Library. Tell us, Jen, what do you do?
I actually have a variety of responsibilities here. My primary responsibility is the teen services, which is services to middle and high school students in Nashua. That involves collection development, program offerings, and outreach to the school community.
What kind of benefits does the library offer for teenagers? Let's say, how can a teenager get benefits of coming to the library? What are you offering?
We have a lot of offerings here at the library for teens. We've actually developed the services greatly over the past 6 years into a department. We have weekly programs for teens.
Like what?
We have an anime club, which is very popular. We have a teen advisory group, which is a volunteer group that gives teens a voice in the library. They help with special projects around the library. They will write reviews of materials and other special initiatives, such as the summer reading program. We also have a teen room, which is a room just for them, where we have materials for them to look at. We circulate video games. We have an online tutoring service for them, which they don't need to come into the library to access, but they do need a library card.
You probably have a reading club and all of that, and that's great. That's great. I'm glad to hear that, because I'm hearing a whole list of variety of things that you're offering for teenagers. So if teenagers want to come here to the library, they will find many ways to be really educated and instructed, right?
There's something for everyone here at the library. It's not just academic support. While we do have a lot of resources to help with that, we also have a lot of recreational resources as well.
Excellent, excellent. Now tell us, in a nutshell, how do you describe one typical day of work for you?
You know, that's a good question, because I don't think I honestly have a typical day. Every day is different.
It's different.
Whether I'm getting ready for a teen program or I may be getting ready for a school visit. We have groups come here and get library tours. Or currently I'm going out to some of the middle schools and promoting our summer reading program and other resources we have, issuing library cards. I also work at the adult reference desk, so whenever you're working in public service, you never have days that are the same.
Thank you, Jen, for being with us and sharing your time promoting the Young Adult Library and what the library is offering for teenagers and middle school students. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back.
There was a great interview in the library, right?
Yes, it was.
Now let's continue with Bobbie Bagley, the topic about the initiative, but this time we're going to interview Fakia Gomes.
Yes.
She is the program coordinator.
Program coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So let's see what she said. Welcome back to City Source Nashua in Focus. I'm here with Ailda Munes. We're going to talk with Fakia Gomes. She is the program coordinator of the initiative in the city of Nashua. Welcome, Fakia.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us about this project. What is your job?
Okay. I'm really actually glad to be here, and I am going to talk about how this initiative started. It was in 2007 that a group of refugees from Somalia and Burundi were settled in Nashua, and the city officials at that time realized that the refugees were having a really hard time navigating through the system. They were having a lot of issues. So the mayor at that time decided to start a refugee task force, which started meeting bi-weekly. And that refugee task force had individuals from different service providing agencies, individuals from the different departments of the city, for example, the welfare, the health department, the school district, police. They also invited the 2 hospitals, the area health agency, adult learning center, and many other agencies, even from outside the Nashua throughout the state. So these individuals started meeting bi-weekly and started discussing the issues that the refugees were facing, and they realized that they do need funding to have a program coordinator on board to develop an integration plan for the city of Nashua. So they wrote a grant to the Endowment for Health, and they did get a grant from them. That's about a 2-year grant.
Okay.
And so they did receive it in 2008. So that's when I was hired to do the job. I am the program coordinator, and I coordinate all the activities of the initiative. When I came on board, we did a summit with the different service providing agencies from actually all over the state. We did get technical assistance from Colorado. It's called the Spring Institute in Colorado. They came over here and gave us technical assistance, and actually I went over there for my training too. Why we did that? Because they do have a really good initiative similar to this initiative over there in Colorado, and we were following their model. So when I came on board, we had a summit with more than 60 people in the summit, and we and the technical assistance for the summit was provided by the Spring Institute in Colorado. Right after that, I did my focus groups with different refugee groups and different immigrant groups, and I also did one-to-one interviews with immigrants. And from the information gathered from all these sources, we decided that we will be working on mainly five different pathways. So one is the education and family outreach. The next one is health and mental health.
Yeah.
One is the housing. One is the language access. Language access is the one actually that's a main one that goes actually abroad, all of them.
To have the communication.
Right, and one is the employment pathway. So what I did was I formed subcommittees. We have a monthly meeting of the initiative where all the stakeholders come, and these stakeholders are individuals from all different agencies. And I can't name all of them because there are more than 20 agencies that are involved with this initiative. And I'm really proud to say that all these agencies, they show support and they give their time, and they are really, really interested in making this initiative a success. And one thing, I would say the best thing is that they show up at every meeting. So that's the best part about it. So every month we have these stakeholder meetings, and so I announced at those meetings that I need to form these subcommittees pertaining to each pathways, and that's how we made those subcommittees. And so I facilitate those monthly meetings, and I also facilitate all the subcommittees. I actually had them, and the subcommittees meet monthly, and they identify the issues pertaining to that particular subcommittee, and they start working on that. This was done during the first year. So there are two actually different levels of the work that I do. One is I work with the service providers, the agencies, collaboration among them, and see that they are communicating with each other, and that they that the refugees and immigrants have access to them. So that's one level. And the other one is that our work also with the refugees and immigrants. That is through the liaisons and the volunteers. Now we do also have a volunteer coordinator on board. He's part-time. I work very closely with the volunteer coordinator too. So the volunteer coordinator recruits volunteers, he trains them, checks backgrounds and everything, and coordinates them.
Okay.
And there's also, I have 6 liaisons that I work with. Those liaisons are from different groups of different countries, different groups of, they represent, you can say, different groups of refugees and immigrants.
Yeah.
So I have 2 that are from Africa, actually 3 that are from Africa, and they speak Swahili and Kirundi. That's actually the main language that the Burundi refugees, they speak.
Now, Fakia, do you do direct casework with refugees and immigrants?
Actually, no. We do not do casework. I mean, that's what people thought in the beginning too. We are doing some work through the liaisons. The liaisons, they do visit the families. They do, once in a while, maybe monthly, they would visit them. It depends on the families, actually, especially the refugee families. They know that they can call the liaisons, especially the 3 liaisons that I have from Africa. So they call them if they have a problem or anything like that. And the liaisons also visit them on a regular basis.
I want to get back to what you're saying in regards to the volunteers and how they work with the liaisons, but let's backtrack a little bit. So you're the volunteer coordinator, and then you have the volunteer who manages the liaisons. Is how that?
No, actually the volunteer coordinator only coordinates the volunteers, works with the volunteers. I am the one who manages the liaisons. And the liaisons actually work all abroad. They work with the volunteers also, they work with the volunteer coordinator also, but he does not manage them. I'm the one who works with the liaisons. So 3 of them are African and 1 is Urdu speaking, who can deal with the populations from the Southeast Asia. And then I have one who is Arabic speaking, and there is one who is Portuguese and 1 Spanish speaking.
Now the volunteers, do they receive training?
Yes, they do actually receive, the volunteers, they do receive training.
All of them are bilingual, right?
Yes, definitely. All of them are bilingual. They work with the communities that they belong to. For example, the Spanish-speaking one, she works with all the different populations who speak Spanish. Similarly, the Portuguese lady is Brazilian, and she works with...
Do they give services like a translation if the refugees need to go to the hospital or any kind of services that they
Yes,
need?
they do provide interpretation too. We do have some money for interpretation in our grant, and not only the liaisons provide interpretation, but I have another pool of interpreters who can provide interpretation, because we always like to use trained interpreters. So if one of the liaisons is not available, I have others who can go and help the families out. So the liaisons work all abroad. They also work with me directly with the subcommittees. They are members of the subcommittees. They also attend the stakeholders meeting. So they are kind of like a go-between the community and the service agencies, and also the families who are in need.
So the volunteers receive training through your management or through another source?
No, they receive a training through the volunteer coordinator. And volunteer coordinator is hired by the Southern New Hampshire Services. So mainly, you can say the Southern New Hampshire Services, but it's the same grant.
Okay. And they offer services like for transportation, schools, for the refugees. And one of my questions is, are the volunteer training to teach the refugees how works the system in the city?
That's exactly what the purpose of this initiative is. We don't want to keep working with the refugees forever. The main thing is that they are trying to integrate the refugees and immigrants. So the first couple of times they accompany them, and I try to always tell them to kind of give them a little nudge, let them do it on their own so that they are self-sufficient and they are productive citizens, instead of just being dependent on
this. I'm sorry that I interrupt you, but I'm thinking about this. It's like a tool, right? through the city and the system, you know, and because the volunteers, they are very, very nice, you know, working with them and to help them. But they won't be able all the time to take care of them and service with the transportation and everything. They teach them how they can take the bus or all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, that's the ideal. Like, we would like to work with the immigrants or refugees in the beginning, maybe a year or so, and try to just wean them off of what we are doing, and just have them like teach them how they can survive on their own, how can they navigate the system. And we really don't want them keep coming back to us, but we want to keep this initiative alive and have one point place where new immigrants or new refugees, they come and they contact us, and also provide like a point place for older immigrants and refugees too. For example, we do educational sessions. Like in the beginning, when immigrants and refugees come, they have different kinds of needs. For example, learning how to enroll their kids to the school, or finding employment or housing, all these things. But as time passes, maybe in a year or a couple of years, they have other needs. For example, they need to apply for their green cards or citizenship, prep for that. They need other kind of information. How do they build their credit over here? So
it's a process.
It's a process. Yeah. As time passes, they have different needs.
Yeah.
So we do also with the program with the volunteer coordinator. We do also have educational sessions where we invite people from different countries, from like the immigrants and refugees, and they come and learn about different things. We had one educational session on citizenship issues, and that was very well attended, and people were like, we have never had these things before in Nashua, and this is great.
Sounds like you just started. For 2 years, it's not enough time to do everything that you want to do as far as helping resettle individuals into Nashua, and also help immigrants phasing through services and other programs that they may need, not only for themselves but their family. Now, this is a 2-year initiative, and we spoke to Bobbie earlier, and the initiative is ending September 30th. And after September 30th, what will happen to the volunteers who have been working with refugees and immigrants in Nashua?
Yeah, you're right. It's a very short period of time, and the first year was actually just the planning phase where we planned and we developed an integration plan, and the second year was implementation. And the second year is the one where we started working directly with refugees and immigrants, providing them the volunteer services and the liaisons. So what we are thinking, if we don't have funding after September 30th, I mean, there still would be immigrants over here. Refugees will still be coming to Nashua. It's not that they're going to stop after this initiative. So I think the service providers, they have to step up, and they have to start doing more to increase the communication between themselves, and also to keep on discussing the issues that refugees and immigrants face. And I see that like we have given them a starting point kind of a thing. We meet every month, and even if the funding goes away, all these service providers will keep on meeting every month.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll be able to keep the subcommittees too. And regarding the question of the volunteers, the voluntary agencies, the agencies who resettle the refugees over here, as you know, that they provide services anywhere from a month to 8 months. But the first month is really the core services, which is just providing mainly like enrolling the kids to the school, getting their immunizations, having their social security cards made, just the basic thing, helping them with the employment and housing. And as you know, with the economy, employment, the refugees, they don't find it during the first month. It's getting harder and harder. So, and especially for the voluntary agencies, the resettlement agencies, traveling from Concord or from Manchester to Nashua, that's also an issue. So we will start, I mean, our hope was to start working with the refugees right from the beginning as the settlement agencies are settling them.
Yeah.
But now what's going to happen is hopefully there will be more communication between the settlement agency and the city departments and different service providers right from the beginning. And the agencies, they do have their own volunteers, they train them too. So like for example, right now there is a group of refugees that might be coming to Nashua from they're called Rohingyans from Southeast Asia. So the voluntary agencies, they are coming over here and they're trying to recruit volunteers. So it's gonna be after the funding ends, it's gonna be kind of like on the voluntary agencies and the service providers here in Nashua to do that on their own. They are also collaborating with the churches. I would say the churches or the faith-based community, they play a huge role in volunteering.
But the churches don't have a coordinator of volunteers.
I would say they have, like for their own church, for
I
example, each church has their own coordinator, but they don't work collaboratively. And also in the past, what has happened is that like the model we worked with the liaisons, and the liaisons belong to the same communities they are working for. They know their language, they know their culture, they know everything about the community, so they understand better. The volunteers with the churches, they work really hard, but they don't know the culture of the refugees or the immigrants that they're working with.
So, excuse me, so your position as a coordinator is effective in bringing all the liaisons together and agencies to coordinate programs for resettled refugees in Nashua and also immigrants who are also coming to the Nashua community.
Right.
That's a vital position.
That's a vital position.
And to separate the group by ethnic, right?
Right. So, I mean, even if part-time, but there should be a point person who coordinates everything. This is what happened in 2007, that people were falling through the cracks. Sometimes there were like more than 2 volunteers working with one family, and still the family had issues because there wasn't any collaboration. There were duplication of services. The families were hesitating because they were not from the same culture. So, and the volunteers did not, at that time, the volunteers were working, but they did not understand the culture. So it's important.
The job is more harder, you know, to
if you're not from the same culture. Yeah.
So without this initiative, a lot of the refugees who resettled here in Nashua and immigrants would find it very difficult, and at least in the initial phases, to adapt to the city and city life and to obtain resources without the help of liaisons and volunteers through this initiative.
Exactly.
So it's a very vital program.
Vital program.
Now, are you looking for funders to help with this initiative to continue to phase 2 of the program?
Yes, definitely we are. At this point, we have put one grant through, but we haven't heard back. Okay. So, I mean, we don't know, and we are looking for funding sources this time.
And your funding source will end September 30th of this year?
Yeah.
That's at the end of the month?
Yeah.
So how many volunteers do you have, and how big is the refugees or immigrants group that you are helping?
Refugees, they are limited. There are like 30 to 40 refugees over here in Nashua. But immigrant, you know, there are a lot of immigrants here. So
our volunteers?
Volunteers about, there are 10 volunteers who work with the refugees mainly. The liaisons, they are also a vital part of this initiative. Because it's like liaisons are the legs and arms. They are the ones who are out there in the community who bring their issues back to us, because like I personally, or the program coordinator, does not do case management. We don't go out in the community to the houses and assess what their needs are.
Now, how do immigrants find you or find your program? How do they know about your program?
See, this has just been a year that we have started working directly with the refugees and immigrants. So they can definitely check the website and of the city, like Bobbie told earlier, and they can also call. They can ask for me, Fakia Gomes. And also, like, we try to know about new immigrants and new refugees, so we keep track of at least the refugees. So if a new group comes, we would know that they are coming, so we will be working with them right from the beginning, because we have developed very good relationships with the resettlement agencies.
Now, what would be the impact without this initiative to the city of Nashua?
The impact would be similar. I would say we are not there where we were 2.5 years ago. We have moved ahead. The service providers, they know more about the refugees and immigrants, and they're willing to work. Before that, they didn't even know that what were the issues and what were the barriers and problems that the immigrants and refugees face. So we have moved ahead. The service providers, they probably will communicate more with each other, but again, the issue remains of the position of the program coordinator and the volunteer coordinator and liaisons. If they are not there, there wouldn't be one point of contact or one place where refugees and immigrants can come and ask for services or have resources available.
So at this current time, are you seeking funders and volunteers to help with this initiative?
Definitely funders, not volunteers at this time. We are working with the same volunteers we have right now. So hopefully we'll get the funding, and then we'll start looking for volunteers again.
And they can contact you through the web city of Nashua.
Right.
GoNashua.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
To contact you, Fakia or Bobbie Bagley.
Fakia Gomes or Bobbie Bagley at 589-4500.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Fakia.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks, Grace. So thank you everyone for be watching this program, Nashua City in Focus, City of Nashua in Focus, with Eva Molina and
Ailda Munes.
So stay tuned. We're going to have more topics, more issues around the city of Nashua. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And that was a great interview with Fakia Gomes. And
if you have a lot of questions or you need more information about it, go through the website and phone number that she just told us, and to figure it out. But stay there, because we're going to have more program in the next time, right? This is a City Source Nashua in Focus.
Yes.
And this is a TV magazine of the City of Nashua. You can see us and watch all the time this program, follow the schedule in the city webpage, that is GoNashua.com, www.gonashua.com. And your left side, you're going to see the link, Nashua TV, okay? And follow the schedule over there. We're going to have a lot of information for you in the city of Nashua, and be in contact with us. You are very welcome, and thank you for being there and watching us.
Some snacks are a lot of trouble. I wish it were easier. Snacks with edible wrappers would be a much better idea. What about fruits and vegetables? Just wash and eat. Blueberries, pears, and tomatoes. How fast and easy was that? Join me next time when we'll learn the secrets of making a salad.